Hey everyone, this is Max Nazir. You are watching GoTarryn TV.
And we are back, everybody. Welcome to GoTarryn TV. As you can see, I'm Taryn, the traveling trainer. There is Max Nazir on the other side of the screen, our wellness ambassador, our guest this week for Thursday, April the 2nd, the very first video blog of the new month. Happy April, everyone. And Max, happy April to you. Thank you so much for coming on to GoTarryn TV this week.
Oh man, thanks for having me, Taryn. I mean, this is an honor and a pleasure.
Well, I appreciate you coming on and your time, and I wanted to have you on here every week. I've been interviewing some guests talking about just different health and wellness topics, and we're going to get into that a little bit here. A couple of weeks ago, for those of you watching right now, you probably already know who Max is, but if you don't, I encourage you to stick around and learn something here from this guy, because a couple of weeks ago I had him on our weekly Circle of Praise video blog. I've been working with this guy for several years. It's an honor and a true pleasure to not only call him a fitness colleague, but also a true friend. And we go back, and I feel like I've known this guy all my life with as close as we are. And again, Max, I just wanted to start from the beginning, if you don't mind. I wanted to ask you, first of all, before we even get to Fit to the Max, where are you from growing up? And if you could tell the people out there a little bit about your backstory before even getting into fitness.
Okay, well, awesome. Before getting into fitness, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I come from a big family, 4 brothers and 3 sisters, and I'm the second and youngest. And growing up in Brooklyn, I mean, it was just hard kind of growing up there in the 80s. A lot of drugs and alcohol and, things kind of happening in your urban environment. And it was just a tough way to come up. But one thing that I learned coming out of a tough situation like that is that, God is important, and having family surrounding you is also important as well, and having positive influences and positive outlets as well to be able to cope through some of those challenging situations. As a youngster, I kind of gravitated towards athletics and sports, and it was just a great way for me to kind of get away from everything that was happening around me and all the challenges and the struggles that people were going through. And athletics was my outlet, because it was a way for me to pour my all into something that was positive, something that would build me up, but at the same time, doing something positive and learning teamwork and camaraderie and perseverance and patience and all the most important values and life lessons that a young man can take on.
Wow, that's great, Max. And again, everyone watching out there, if you saw my Circle of Praise last week, a couple weeks ago, Max is a very decorated fitness professional, not only personal training, group exercise training, motivational speaking, wellness ambassador, has been on CNN, and a lot of other things that I'm going to get into here with him. Max, how did you get into fitness? What brought you into your interest in fitness and health?
Well, it's interesting. I think it was, for some folks, they have like this one defining moment. I think for me, it was several defining moments. I think that, number one, I've always gravitated towards, fitness and athletics and eventually wellness. When I went to school, I really excelled in sciences. I found myself really doing better in the science and math subjects, especially physics. I love physics. I love anatomy, physiology, biology. I fell in love with. So I've always had an admiration for the human body. So I think that that was the start. And then when I was 18 years old, I went away to school. I ran track and field in college. And it was my freshman year that I suffered from a rare heart disease. I found out after I had a heart attack that I suffered from this rare congenital disease called Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. Now, as a result of that, it just causes a lot of pain, first and foremost. It felt like somebody was taking a sledgehammer and was literally driving that sledgehammer through my chest over and over and over again. And I just remember just seeing a lot of different colors. I was seeing blue and purple and pink and red, and just, really having a bad dizzy spell. And I went to several doctors, and I was going all over. At the time, I was going to school in Long Island, New York. And I went from doctor to doctor to doctor, and they were not able to tell me what was going on. So not only was I suffering through this disease, but I didn't know what it was. So it was very confusing. It was challenging. It was depressing. It was just a sad situation. So finally, we ran into a doctor, and after doing a stress test, he was able to actually detect what was going on. So with low Parkinson's White, the way that it works is this: you have like extra cardio tissue in your heart, and that extra cardio tissue sends a faulty electrical impulse that just causes your blood in your heart to regurgitate, or meaning go in the opposite direction. There's a normal blood flow in the heart, and it goes from the atrium to the ventricle and so on and so forth. But it was going in the reverse. So what happens is when it goes into the reverse direction, it causes you to pass out. And if a blood clot is shot to the brain, it could be potentially fatal.
Wow. Gosh, that's crazy. And, just with that, can you tell everybody what school you went to and the transition of coming down to Atlanta from there?
Yeah, well, I started out as a track and field athlete at Farmingdale State University, and then when I decided that I wanted to pursue a more rigorous science curriculum, I transferred to Stony Brook University, which has one of the best teaching hospitals, not only in the state but in the nation. So then I graduated and received my science degree in public health from Stony Brook.
Okay, and then what certification do you have with personal training as well? And then talk about a little bit about group exercise classes too.
Yeah, well, Taryn, and I guess you know this. Many professionals in the industry for a while, you just accumulate quite a few certifications. Sometimes I forget them all, but
Sure. Yeah.
I have a National Strength and Conditioning Association certification. I also have prenatal postnatal certification, so I'm very well versed with working with pregnant women, pre and post birth.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm USA track and field certified. I have a track and field background, so I'm certified in that level 1, and expert rating, ACE. So I have several certifications.
And for those people watching out there who don't realize, but those are actually nationally accredited certifications, what you just said, and that's a huge difference that separates guys like Max and other fitness professionals versus other personal trainers who call themselves trainers that are at some fitness centers and facilities. And Max, you and I have talked about that with other people who, unfortunately, we all know you can just get one of these fly-by-night certifications and just call yourself a personal trainer. You just got to go in there and go to any gym, and that's something that we've witnessed. What is your take on the industry right now? Do you think that it's too loose, or what's your thoughts in terms of it being maybe licensed or a little bit more regulated?
Well, you know what? I think it's a great question. I remember for URSA, International Racquetball,
Mm-hmm.
Club Association,
Yep.
they were talking about trying to find some type of way to regulate the industry a little bit more, because where it currently sits, anyone can grab a certification, whether it takes you 2 years or 2 days to study it and take the exam,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
literally, pass it, get the certification, and call yourself a personal trainer. Now, I have no issues with that per se. I just think that is a concern for someone who is looking for a personal trainer, and you may have one individual who has a master's in exercise science versus another individual who took a certification online. So I think what happens is some people are starting to look at these folks as like being on the same platform, and it's not. And I think what's happening too is that there's an adjustment being made, because I think the consumers starting to become a lot more wiser in their decision making, because things that we know is that dollars are hard to come by. So I think consumers are going in and they're doing more research, and they're starting to get a little wiser and hipper to the game, so to speak. But like we always have this conversation all the time, off camera about folks who are perpetrating personal trainers, and I think that when you're going in and you're looking for one, I think that number one, you have to know what you're looking for, you have to know what your goals are, and you have to find the appropriate trainer that can help you with that. But also too, you want to have someone not only that has the certifications in the background and experience behind them, but then also someone who's living the lifestyle too. So these are big things. And I think a lot of times when you sit down and you kind of have that one-on-one with you and your potential trainer, you can address a lot of these issues and answer a lot of these questions, by asking them, are they certified? Who are they certified with? Are they nationally accredited? Are they CPR certified? Because the thing is that you're trusting them with your body. And if you're trusting someone with your body, you want to make sure that they have all experience that they can get under the sun that will be able to help you and encourage you to live a life of wellness and that you can live a healthy and active lifestyle.
Very true, very true. And everyone out there watching, Max and I mostly see each other every week at a fitness center called the Family Life Center. You've heard me talk about it before. It's in Buckhead. And that's pretty much where Max and I met, and our friendship developed there. Max, can you tell the people the last 3 years or so how it's been going for you at Family Life Center? I've witnessed you with some amazing transformations with some of the people that you've worked with. Some of the things that have going on for yourself there. And also, this is kind of a two-part question, but being now transitioned into Atlanta, there was a point where you were on CNN as their wellness ambassador. If you could talk about that as well. I'm sorry that was a fully loaded question, but I'll let you address it.
Well, I'm gonna try to see if I can chop it up and go into each and every different part. But
Okay.
it was interesting when I was in New York. I was working right off of Wall Street. So when I told my friends who I was working with that I was working at this really high-end, fancy, luxurious type of gym. And I made a decision that I wanted to go to Atlanta for a couple of reasons. Part of it was lifestyle and all the things that attract people to Atlanta, how, the greenery and how it's so wide open and just the quality of life, I think, is so good here in Atlanta versus other parts of the country. But also just a new challenge. The obesity rates, especially in the South and Atlanta, and some of the other states neighboring it, they're at the top when it comes to obesity and childhood obesity. So for me, and just pursuing helping people live healthy and active lifestyle, it just seemed like Georgia and the South was just a hotbed for me to kind of come into to really help out and make a little dent in that statistic there. But going into Atlanta, just backtracking, I was telling my buddies in New York, hey, this is where I'm going. And they were wondering why. They were like, why are you going to Atlanta? Because we were right here and we had Will Smith and Kerry Washington and, major movie stars kind of passing through. At the time, Mike Piazza was playing for the New York Mets and, he's a famous catcher and he was there as well. So they didn't understand it. And to tell you the truth, I didn't understand it either. But I just felt like it was God. It was God. It was divine intervention that led me to Atlanta. And as a result, I got connected to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, and they're a nonprofit organization that raises funds and awareness for Crohn's disease. And through there, I was able to establish some really good relationships, and I was able to land actually a 6-part segment on CNN Headline News.
Wow.
And this was an opportunity for me to share with the world my philosophy on fitness and wellness and really lead people towards living healthy and active lifestyles.
Oh, that's awesome! Wow. When was that with the CNN interview that you had?
Oh yeah, that was in 2012. It was on the Robin Meade, the Robin Meade show.
Very, very cool. And folks watching also, this guy is also a trainer of another gentleman that you've probably heard of, Mr. Montel. Can you tell them about Montel and a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, first things first, I want to give a shout out to Montel Jordan and his wife Kristen and the whole family. I mean, they're just a wonderful family. A lot of you guys know his hit, "This Is How We Do It."
There we go.
And it was just interesting because, we're all connected all over town. And, we the host for 104.7 The Fish, we had a good rapport and good relationship. And at the time, we were just kind of talking, and she thought that would be a great idea for Montel and I to meet. And I think when Montel heard about, some of the things I was able to do and some of the testimonies I've had with other folks, he knew that he wanted to live a healthy and active lifestyle. And one thing he mentioned to me, as him being a born-again Christian, he prayed about it. And as a result, I was the one who kind of came up. So we had a conversation. I sat down with him and his wife, and I started training the both of them. And as a result, when I worked with Montel as well as his wife, they were able to lose close to 100 pounds during the time we were working with each other.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That is excellent. What about, can you tell the folks out there, what is Maxabolic? Can you define Maxabolic and tell people what that's all about?
Maxabolic is about lean bodies and strong hearts. It's the Fit to the Max signature program, and it's based off of metabolic training. I think a lot of folks are familiar with HIIT, high intensity interval training. Well, Maxabolic is the Fit to the Max spin to what people call HIIT training, except that in addition to that high intensity interval training, there's a spiritual and a mental component to the class as well. Like for example, for Maxabolic, one of the things that we do in the morning, because we do it early, we go in and we pray first, we'll read a scripture, and then we'll have a motivational quote or focus for the week that everyone kind of steer towards. And then we go into the workout. And because the thing is that when you're working with people, we're more than just our bodies. Our bodies are just a shell. There's a soul behind that body. There's a brain in that head. And when you talk about complete wellness, I mean, one thing to be fit, the body could be fit, but for you to be well, your spirit and your mental have to all coincide with the body as well, and that's what Maxabolic targets.
That's excellent. Very, very good. Your schedule right now for, say, Family Life Center, if people are at Family Life Center and they want to work with you, I know they've got a couple options, but first, one versus personal training versus two, doing a Maxabolic class with you. What are their options? Like, say you got a new client who's watching this right now, potential, and they just joined the Family Life Center. What would you tell them in terms of once they want to start working out with you?
Yeah, that's a great question. It really depends on that individual and what their goals are. I think for folks who are looking more towards the weight loss route, and they may be a working individual, or for one reason or another, they had things going on in the day. Maxabolic is a great way to start the day.
Okay.
Be out by 7 a.m. and then move on to work or to the kids or whatever you're doing, as opposed to someone that may be looking for something that's a little bit more targeted. Maybe it might be an athletic based type goal or injury. They're working past something that they've rehabilitated, things along that line. Then that may be something more or less like the one-on-one, or what I call individualized training, where there may be 2 or 3 other people that are there that are working towards similar goals. So it works like that. Everything is based on appointment, and it's really easy. You just contact me at fittothemax.com, and then from there we'll respond, figure out what time works for you, and either you can shadow a workout, or we sit down one-on-one and go into what your goals are.
That's excellent. And how did you come up with the name Fit to the Max? How did we get there?
It's interesting because and one thing I have to tell everyone who's a fan of GoTarryn, Taryn, I mean, I just think that he's really a marketing and business genius. When he came up with the whole GoTarryn thing, and I was like, I got it. I'm saying, right away. It's like, this is brilliant. You know what I mean? And I think that's why we connect, because I think we're just kindred spirits in that way.
Yes.
So I mean, with GoTarryn, it's like go, keep on going green. It's like it really blends in very nicely. So I just wanted to put that out there.
I appreciate
But in terms of what Fit to the Max, the thing is, I think for a long time, I really knew that, I really wanted to help people. And I mean, I'm being as sincere as possible. I really wanted to help people live healthy and active lifestyles. And when I was thinking about Fit to the Max, I wanted to help people, but help people based on my abilities, my gifts, and what I feel like I can offer to people, or better yet, something that represented the way that I wanted to go about helping people. So I had a partner back in New York named Dwayne Williams. And I remember we sitting down in his living room, and I was trying to figure out different names that we can name this movement that we wanted to do. And so his name was Dwayne. It started with D, and then my name is Maxim, but for short it's Max. So we try to combine it together, and that's how we came with the Fit 2D Max thing. So it was
gotcha.
yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love it. Yes. Now, can you also tell people about your motivational speaking branch? Because I know that you do that, and your interest is in that as well, to further grow that. Can you tell people about all that with your motivational speaking?
All right, well, great. I mean, when it comes to, I've never ran into anyone that doesn't need extra motivation. We all need to be motivated.
Yep.
We have highs, we have lows, we have peaks, and we have valleys. And the thing is that one thing that people recognize when they come to the Fit to the Max and the Maxabolic program is not only are they going to get a workout, but that they're going to be encouraged and they're going to be motivated, because for every person that tells you that, hey, you can do this, there's 10 people out there that says that you can't. I mean, I keep it very honest. I remember when I started telling people about my dreams and what I wanted to do and how I wanted to help people, there were some people that disagreed with me. My mom wasn't really feeling it. You know, the rest of my family, they didn't understand it. They didn't get it. You know, my friends laughed at me. And that's fine, because sometimes the people that make the most noise in this world, the people that accomplish the most, are the folks who we don't always agree with from time to time, you know? So I think part of the whole motivational speaking thing was that I had to motivate myself first, you know? And in the process of doing that, you know what I mean, Taryn, being an entrepreneur, a lot of times people just don't see where you're going and see your vision. So you have to encourage yourself and you have to motivate yourself to be able to get out there and to do the undoable, or the things, or conquer the unconquerable, you know? So I think through motivating myself, that's what kind of gave me the push to be able to encourage other people. So when people come to Fit to the Max and they come to the Maxabolic program, that's what they're looking for above all else. They're looking for someone to motivate them, someone to encourage them, someone to tell them, like, hey, you can do one more push-up. Hey, you can do more squats. Hey, you can do a lot more than you thought you can do. And I think it just was a natural progression from there. People started calling me and inviting me to go out to different things. That's how the CNN thing came about, because when I was working with the Crohn's Colitis Foundation, I was helping people who some of them didn't have intestines in their body because the disease ripped it out so much that they had to, surgically remove it. But they're running half marathons. I mean, know, one of the things I realized is that we really are so blessed. And part of motivating is allowing people to recognize how blessed they are right now. Not the fact that when they get this or when they get that, then they'll be able to do what they need to do. They can walk into their God-given purpose and their destiny right now, right where they're at. So that's what I do when I try to encourage people and motivate them towards those things, to let them know that they have all the power that they need right now, and all they have to do is make a decision that not only that they have a powerful goal that's worth pursuing, but that the sacrifices are worth being made to be able to accomplish whatever goal that they may have, whether it be through fitness, whether it be entrepreneurial, whether it be life, whether it be family, or whatever have you.
That's awesome, Max. Yeah, I love it. Now, for everybody out there watching too, we've talked about Family Life Center, but Max, in addition, just as yours truly, he is also training outside of that fitness center as well. He does in-home training. In fact, we have traded off clients back and forth, and I know that I think a couple of the ones that I sent to him are in-home clients. So if there's people watching, Max, that say they want you to come do in-home training for them, but let's just say they don't have any equipment, for example. But what would you say to them if they're watching you right now and they'd like you to come out to them logistically, location-wise, availability and scheduling? What would you say to those folks watching right now if they're very interested in contacting you for in-home training?
Yeah, well, that's really easy. I always tell people, you are wellness, you are the workout. And as you are wellness and you are the workout goes wherever you go. So all we have to do is connect, for 1 hour in a day, wherever that may be, time, location, place, so on and so forth, and we can make it happen. It's just a matter of just scheduling it. I think that, and I hope I'm not going to run off into a tangent, but I think that in our society, what used to make us great, but I think now is kind of really working towards our detriment, is commitment. So many people are just not committed. Husbands not committed to wives, children not committed to family living. Our government is not committed to us from time to time. So I think because we have so many options, and we have so many priorities. And the thing is that I always say, you show me someone that has a whole bunch of priorities, and I'll show you someone who has no priorities. Okay? Yeah. Because the thing is that if you have a whole bunch of priorities, then nothing is really a true priority, right?
Right.
You can only have so many. So when it comes to wellness and fitness, it has to be somewhere at the top of the list, because with being fit and with being well, so many doors open up on all levels. Because if you're more fit and you're more healthy, you have more energy, you can be a better husband, you can be a better wife, you could be a better employee. You could be a better employer. You could
Mm.
be a better servant. You could be a better community leader. You could be better wherever you're at if you work on bettering yourself through fitness and wellness. So it's just a matter of just sitting down and getting that time and place located, and then we rock and roll from there.
That's awesome. Very good, Max. And you had said your website earlier one more time. That was www.fittothemax.com. And if you don't mind, how can other people reach you otherwise? Can you give maybe your email, your phone, any other things that they can connect with you? Maybe your Skype ID and such. How can they get a hold of you?
Oh yeah, if someone wants to get a hold of me, it's real easy. You can contact me directly via cell phone 678-768-5278. Of course, Taryn mentioned the website www.fittothemax.com. That's FIT, the number two, D is in David, MAX.com. And
Mm-hmm.
then also that same Fit to the Max handle, you can use that all across the board. So if you want to go on Facebook, we do have a fan page. It's Fit to the Max. Also on Twitter, we spend a lot more time there because we know that's where you like to hang out. Fit to
Mm-hmm.
the Max, IT2DMAX, or Coach Maxim, Coach MAXIM. And then also on Twitter at Fit to Max, FIT2DMAX.
Perfect. Wonderful. And Max, again, I want to thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate your time. One last thing, just off subject here, for those folks who might not know, this has been a very busy year for yourself. Last year, you had a life-changing event. You got married to your beautiful bride, Danae, and just wanted everyone out there to know that this man is a very busy guy. He keeps a huge, full schedule and has gotten married. And how is that going with your marriage to Danae?
Oh, I mean, it's going beautiful, man. I mean, I can't explain it better than to say that I married the love of my life,
There you go.
and she's my best friend and a big supporter, encourages me, and she helps me out with the classes as well. So if you come into the Maxabolic class, you can meet my wife. And we work out together, we encourage each other, and we just support one another. But she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. So long answer short, I mean, we're doing great.
Perfect, perfect. Well, again, you guys make an awesome, lovely couple, and I'm very
That's sweet,
grateful.
sweet Kelly.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. And again, as we continue to grow with each other, folks, be on the lookout. There's some other plans that Max and I have talked about that we're talking about a little long term within the next year or so. So I'm sure we're going to have you back on here. Maybe we can get to that point and follow up and tell the folks what we've got in store. But for everybody watching, just I don't want to give it away or give any hints or anything like that, but just keep on the lookout for this guy and yours truly, because bigger and better things are coming with both Fit to the Max and GoTarryn. Max, thank you a million times for coming on for this week's Skype video interview. That was an excellent interview. I can't wait to have you back on again. In closing, is there anything else that you'd like to say to everybody watching here on GoTarryn TV?
Oh well, yeah. First things first, I want to say thank you to you, Taryn, just for having me on this video blog. And I mean, this is just awesome and it's great. And like I said, not only do I cherish you as a good business partner, but more than anything else, as a friend. And
Thank
I'm
you.
just looking forward to just a lifetime of us being able to help each other and for our families to grow together as well. But then also, I want to take a stab at this. So you tell me if I do this right or not. It's about your time, your investment, and your life.
Max, that is awesome. I really appreciate that. I couldn't have said it better than that, folks. He just said it right there, better than I've ever said it. You are the man, Max. Again,
You know,
folks, I can't thank you enough. If you're watching right now, you get a hold of this guy. He will change your life. He is a positive influence on everybody that he works with. Max, you keep up the great work. Love you, love Danae, and you guys are awesome. And very well said there. I can't wait to continue growing with y'all too. I appreciate it.
all right, man. Love you too, bro. And hey, tell everyone I said hey. All right.
Will do. Yes, sir. We'll see you again. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And for the rest of y'all, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see y'all later. Well, there you have it, folks. Fit to the Max, Max Nazir, and I hope you enjoyed that interview there on our Skype Weekly Conference call, and I'm certainly enjoying these, hopefully as much as you are. And so, again, every Thursday, be on the lookout. We're going to be having some really wonderful, great guests, and they're going to be including people like Max and like the others that you've watched in the last couple of months here. So I encourage you to stay connected to GoTarryn and keep watching GoTarryn TV, whatever you're doing. So hope that everyone else out there has a wonderful, great rest of your weekend, and enjoy the beautiful weather out there that we're having, especially here in the greater Atlanta area. And remember, until I see you guys next time, GoTarryn Personal Training is your time, your investment in your life. We'll catch you on the next video blog. Thanks for watching, everybody. So long. Bye-bye.